Okay. There was a YouTube shooting. This is 3 years ago by a woman. Notice it's not very famous. We'll see how things are, how they compare to male shooters. For one thing, this is the first time I'm hearing of it.
Hacker that has been identified as the woman that came here and opened fire on YouTube has been identified as a woman that was making YouTube videos. It was her father that told authorities, warning them that she hated the company, and the family, before this shooting happened, reached out to authorities asking them to check on her before this shooting took place.
There you go. So the authorities were even warned, but they always think the same thing. Men always think the same thing. It's only a woman. So she'll never do anything.
The shots rang out just before 1 p.m. Tuesday, lunch hour for hundreds of workers at YouTube's headquarters.
We have a report of subject with a gun. They heard 7 to 8 shots being fired. This will be from the YouTube building.
Police responding to the active shooter in minutes, racing onto the YouTube campus along with SWAT teams and paramedics as terrified employees streamed out of the complex with their hands raised.
And notice everyone has to look like they're a possible shooter. Look, they said, no, it's not me.
3 people shot, 2 women and a man who was the most seriously injured.
They identified a female in a white shirt. That's the one we have down in the center court area with the gunshot wound in the chest.
Overnight, police identified the shooter as 39-year-old Nasima Agdam, a woman who last lived in the San Diego area. Police telling NBC News Agdam may have been angry at the video sharing site, claiming that YouTube discriminated and filtered her content.
And if you go and check my videos, you see that my new videos hardly get views, and my old videos that used to get many views stopped getting views.
May have been. Come on. She basically said, this is why I'm angry. Then she shot at YouTube. Come on. And this is, I believe, came out 2018, the shooting. And this is the first time we're hearing it, right? You know, when women do shooting, it doesn't become famous. But in any event, I'm starting to hear more and more now about people saying what this woman is saying. That now that YouTube is big enough, it's ditching all the creative contenters, all the little guys.
Agdam had a large YouTube presence with multiple channels, from animal rights activism to bizarre musical parodies.
Okay, so she's a standard YouTuber. I don't know how bizarre they would be.
Witnesses describing the chaos.
I came to the courtyard, and that's when I heard a bunch of yelling going on. And there was a person out there yelling, you know, do you want to shoot me? And I froze, and I noticed that laying.
He said, do you want to shoot me? I think this guy was acting like a tough guy and then got himself shot.
Was an individual that had been shot.
She shot that person 10.
Holy snap, times. 10 or 11 times. So how is she any less brutal than the male versions?
Non-stop.
Authorities believe Agdam took her own life as police closed in. They say she used a 9mm handgun in the attack. Her car was found near the site of the car. A woman with the same name was reportedly found sleeping in early Tuesday morning by police about a half-hour away from the YouTube campus. After the rampage, YouTube CEO tweeting, "There are no words to describe how horrible it was to have an active shooter at YouTube today. Our hearts go out to all those injured and impacted today."
Of course, they give the trite little answer.
We will come together and heal as a family.
And that must annoy you, the employees of YouTube, because they all know that YouTube would toss them out in a heartbeat over anything. Companies do not care about their employees.
Family.
So that woman, Gotti, was sleeping in her car you mentioned in the piece. Give us a little more background on that.
Yeah, that's right, Hoda. So several days ago, the family down in Southern California had reported Agdam missing. And then the Mercury News is now reporting that about 25 miles away from here in a town of Mountain View, she was found sleeping in her car very early in the morning by police. They made.
Now, like I say, when a woman commits a mass shooting, she'll be an individual. When a guy does it, he's representative of all of us. At the very least, the low status portion, like Elliot Rogers, right? The guy who couldn't get laid. But even then, it's still usually focused on majority of men. And again, when it happens to women, women aren't, this woman isn't even seen as bad. No one's calling her bad or evil. What she is she's just crazy. Women are either good or they're crazy somehow. There's no such thing as a bad woman. As you see, Bill Anthony we'll look at the comments in here, and people tend to be supportive. The worst part, her complaints were essentially correct. This site is no longer belongs to the people. That's 3 years ago. People noticed that. Let's see if there will be any, she belongs, I'm glad she's dead or something. Yeah, YouTube's demonetizations are literally driving people crazy. So he's supportive. He by rights shouldn't he be saying, hey, this woman killed someone over money? You know, if a guy did this, I don't think they'd be so nice. She was mad about YouTube censorship. Yes. Cops run into YouTube HQ but wait outside of a school. Okay, that's a non sequitur. First thing that came to my mind is YouTube demonetizing small YouTuber accounts. Yeah, people are very supportive of her. I don't know if a guy did this, if they would be doing this. Let's see. Another thing about the schools. I can't wait for the army crazy YouTubers planning and raiding the YouTube headquarters. Okay. They talk about the police a lot. You mean the gun-free zone signed in? Okay. This one, Plato Socrates, she's a hero. Okay. He sees her as a hero. If this was a guy doing this, I don't think Plato Socrates would actually say this. Oh, Socrates, I think that sounds better. I don't think he would be brave enough to type this and get thumbs up, especially. There would be people going in here saying you're a maniac. This is what happens when YouTube takes 30% of your donations. Wow. We always made jokes about things like this, where YouTubers being demonetized would snap, but actually happened. Best wishes to those injured. Okay. Now, this young woman shot herself because she felt her life was basically over. But you know something? Like I said, if I haven't said it already, if she had just thrown the gun down and gave herself to the police, most likely she probably would have got wrist slapped because nobody died. So that's what I want to show this. Wow, I was cracking ultimately untimely jokes about female shooter being disgruntled about stuff pertaining to her YouTube channel. And that turned out to be the case. Okay. Like I say, there's not a lot of hate towards the woman now. Let's check out the article and see if there's anything I want to add, because the article basically says the same things. Now, here's something interesting in the article. The U.S. government security official told Reuters there was no known connection to terrorism. Okay, so they're basically admitting like this woman is disgruntled over bad, unfair treatment, and also that I think they would want there to be a connection to terrorism. Because, if they look at this woman and say, oh, she's just a disgruntled woman, well, maybe the guys that do the shooting might be the same, right? All right. Here's one. In response to Twitter chief executive Jack Dorsey tweeted, we can't keep being reactive to this, thinking that and praying that it won't happen again to our schools, jobs, or our community spots. It's beyond time we evolved our policies. Really? Okay. Last month, YouTube announced it would ban content promoting the sale of guns and gun accessories, as well as videos that teach how to make guns. So these people are avoiding the issue. The reason why this woman went crazy in the first place, she felt she was being treated unfairly. So their answer is just to make sure no one has any weapons. So they have to take it. Now, this is the most important thing why I brought you to this article. Female mass shooters are rare. Yeah, so what? A recent Washington Post analysis shows only 3 of the 150 U.S. shootings with more than 4 victims since 1966 were carried out by women. Yeah, so what? In 2015, a husband and wife killed 14 people in San Bernardino, California. Okay. What they're saying is when they clamp down on these shooters, they want you to know that women are not to blame, that this is a man thing. So that way they're saying, don't worry. If we clamp down on these shooters, someone you value isn't going to get zapped. Maybe 1 in a million. That's what they're saying there. They want to assure people that no, women will not be treated equally to men. And also they don't want for people to see women equal to men when it comes to the negatives. Women have proven to be just as violent. It's just that most of the times they use proxy violence. That is some guy, they get some guy to do it. So all that's discounted. And secondly, that they would get wrist slapped. I suspect this woman would not get a long prison sentence because she didn't kill anyone. Everyone survived. So that's the other thing. And society just doesn't want to talk about this stuff anyway. And you guys all know it. Anyway, this was a great article that one of the guys in the collective showed me. That's the advantage of being a part of a group that works together, is that you know, 2 heads are better than 1, many heads are better again. So this is why we keep pushing to say, look, we need you guys to organize for your rights. Thank you.